I'm thinking about how to measure quality of participation in a way that really is useful to cities, because measuring it, what is useful for researchers interested in democracy, for example, it's a very different interest than for cities. So I have had a good opportunity to work with Finnish municipalities. So Finnish municipalities have recently developed models for citizen participation, and they are getting more professional, and they are in the process of evaluating and preparing better models. So I have evaluated like city of Lahti, city of Tampere, cities with some 100, 200 inhabitants, so they are mid-sized cities, and they really want to develop. And I have tried to understand, okay, what do you want? My background is in research, in theories of democracy, so I know that what researchers are interested in. Now I'm looking at, okay, what the cities are interested in. And what I have learned is that they are interested in key city interests. So, of course, economic growth, naturally, how participation might boost local businesses and job creation. That is probably number one. It's a natural interest of any city. But there are many other. I think health and well-being is something how participation might link to better mental or physical or any other type of health. And very important factor is urban attractiveness. How can cities attract people like students? There is a kind of hypothesis that if you allow students to influence their environment, you can attract and ensure that they remain in the city when they have finished their studies. Sustainability naturally has become a big challenge. And last but not least is the kind of democratic governance criteria. So how cities can develop their democratic culture and system. So these are very distant from what researchers normally, when they start evaluating like participatory budgeting, they are looking some like deliberative quality. It's a very narrow perspective on the impacts of participation, and it doesn't link too much with city interests. But now what we have started to think about, if we could use big data of any sort to understand if there is any links between the key city interests and the quite big investments in participation by municipalities. In Finnish municipalities, participatory budgeting is like a flagship. Everyone knows it, and most municipalities organize it. But it's a very tiny little sum of money invested in participation, like investments or support for civic associations. You can count it in millions. Investments in participatory digital environments is a big investment. Service design, opening all city services to everyone, basically. It's these kinds of investments contributing to participation are bigger than like PB or some other. So we can look by analyzing multiple data, what are the links and different impacts of potential impacts of participation. Here's just a random example of my colleague's work. He studied in South Korea, where participatory budgeting is mandated by law in all cities. He studied how it looks like in 20 years' time in Twitter. What are the teams in a huge mass of activity, and there is a storyline history of how the teams change, but this is the overall. So it's about PB's framed in media, it's about regeneration, it's about decentralization of the municipal government. So these are the big themes. I don't know if it's important for understanding or evaluating participation, but it might be. So next one. What we have done in our research group, politics of co-creation research groups at the University of Helsinki, where I work. So we have looked at different previous evaluations of participation globally, and we identified 300 different indicators and compressed them to one model, this co-creation radar model, in order to organize different perspectives, and we organized them to more classical program and project evaluation perspectives, like objectives, of course, you need to understand. Implementation, of course, you need to understand. And results or outcomes. And since we are talking about participation, understanding actors in special is something really, really important. And we organized these 300 indicators in 12 meta criteria that are always important in evaluating participation. And then you can go more detail and try to use different data to understand what happens in these multiple dimensions. So if I was instructed to give a 5-minute talk, and I probably exceeded it already, so just a couple of learnings from Finnish municipalities that we have more explored. So we are now in the middle of the problem of leadership of participation. So municipalities are convinced that yes, more is needed in terms of investing in participation, and it's recognized it's the highest political or strategic level ideal. Not everyone is for participation, but then when you look at the city management, nothing. There is no ownership. There is no leadership. And it's partly linked to the problem that cities don't have well-founded indicators for monitoring like any other management area in their activity. So this is the area where we want to make a difference by introducing big data-based and any sort of statistical indicators and also qualitative information, and we use the co-creation radar to organize our perspectives to make it a meaningful, understandable and comparative approach to evaluation. So thank you.